Good evening, and thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Rachel Lenz. I'm the Executive Director of the Macomb Park District. I've had the opportunity this year to serve as the McDonough County CEO Board Chair, and this evening I have the privilege of serving as the moderator. Now, for those of you who maybe has followed the CEO journey through McDonough County this year, you might know that our cornerstone or capstone event that we were going to showcase our students and their hard work from this year was supposed to be in the form of a trade show where we filled a hall with booths and had you come and join us and interact one-on-one with our students to hear all about their journey and their amazing businesses that they've had the opportunity to create. And due to obvious restrictions, I am still excited that you guys get to join us here live on Facebook and hear about our students' journey, how they have navigated this year and its unique challenges, how they have immersed themselves into our business communities, how they have grown as young professionals, and how they are well on their way to being impactful community leaders. And now I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to the woman who has organized these opportunities and who has stood by our young entrepreneurs step by step throughout this year, Christina Steelman.
Thanks, Rachel. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Christy Steelman, facilitator of the CEO program. Many of you have likely spent a little bit of time with us throughout this past year and may already know what it is that we do. But for those of you who do not, I have been invited here tonight to tell you a little bit about the McDonough County CEO program. In 2008, the Midland Institute for Entrepreneurship in Effingham, Illinois, created this unique program for high school juniors and seniors. Its purpose was simple: to develop a realistic, practical, hands-on educational experience for young people that will provide them with all the tools needed to start and run their own businesses. Since then, it has grown to 56 programs in 7 states. McDonough County started their process several years ago with the board of directors undertaking the enormous task of convincing multiple municipalities, multiple school districts, and many, many business leaders to support this program, both philosophically and financially. This was particularly crucial as we are entirely funded by private investors from all over our county. The major selling points were a history of success in other counties, and the local dream of training future business leaders who may, one day, elect to start their own successful companies in our small towns because of their experiences here and because of the significant community connections that they've made through our program. It was my great pleasure to serve as the very first facilitator for 13 talented young people who were selected in a blind application process from Macomb, Bushnell Prairie City, and West Prairie High Schools. These entrepreneurs in training met every single weekday morning before school in local boardrooms and wearing business attire to learn from our own local leaders. A host of presenters covered key concepts such as communication and presentation, personal responsibility, budgeting, business plans, government and community engagement, ethics, analysis, and so much more. We toured nearly 50 businesses, participated in social networking opportunities, and worked with individual mentors. The board remained active with us by visiting our sessions, sharing their own expertise, and providing support for a variety of activities. Most importantly, our young entrepreneurs put what they were learning to practical use: problem solving, brainstorming, seeking investors, and starting several businesses, including a micro practice business, a very successful month-long class business. That was the return of the Roaring Twenties escape room on the Macomb Square back in February. And finally, their own individual businesses, some of which you'll be hearing about tonight. As Rachel indicated earlier, we were not able to finish this year as planned due to the coronavirus pandemic. The new businesses were set to debut at a large trade show back in May, that these talented and motivated young people powered on and made the most of an uncomfortable and an unusual time. I'm so pleased that you will get to know a few of them a little better this evening. And now I'll turn it back over to our moderator, Rachel Lenz.
Thanks, Christy. Well, before we get rolling and get the opportunity to hear about our young entrepreneurs and the businesses that they have started, I wanted to let everybody in the live web joining us tonight know that you guys can be interactive with us. This is an opportunity not only for you to hear about the students' experiences, but also ask the questions you want to hear the answer to. So if you are on Facebook and you have a question or something that is spurred through the information being shared with our young entrepreneurs, please type your comment in the question, or please type your question in the comment box, and we have people watching those who will alert us, and we will make sure that your question gets asked. So I encourage you and implore you to engage these young entrepreneurs and really get the most out of your listening and being a part of this tonight, and also challenge them. They will impress you. I promise you, they've impressed me this entire year. So I'm excited for you all to get to know them. So we're going to start off getting to know our CEOs and founders' businesses. So we're going to kick tonight off with Jenna Spangler with Jenna Lou's Homemade Ice Cream.
Thank you, Rachel. So like Rachel said, my name is Jenna Spangler, and I am a junior at Bushnell Prairie City High School. This fall, I'll be starting my senior year. And after high school, I plan to attend the University of Illinois to major in agribusiness, markets, and management, with hopes of working in the marketing field long term. And so something unique about myself related to my business is that in the past year, I have made around 200 gallons of ice cream from my home, and I have had the opportunity to sell those all to the community, and it's something that I've really enjoyed. And some of my favorite activities include doing things involved in agriculture, so working with livestock, cattle, and goats. And I enjoy doing music, piano and singing, and of course, making ice cream.
Great. Jenna, do you want to tell us a little bit also about your business and you know, what kind of flavors you have, how people can find you, things like that?
Yeah, so my business is Jenna Lou's Homemade Ice Cream, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Jenna Lou's Homemade Ice Cream. And every 3 weeks or so, I post sales with 5 flavors of ice cream. And to give you a hint for what I'm releasing next, I have chocolate coming soon, which I'm very excited about. And so every few weeks I launch sales, and then I will work with my buyers to get the ice cream delivered to them. And so some of my favorite flavors that I've made before are raspberry dark chocolate, Andy's mint, and peach. And those are just a few of some of the very different flavors that I've made through this year of making ice cream.
Great. Thank you so much, Jenna. And to those viewing, I also forgot to mention, you know, right now we're going to just kind of dive into the businesses and a little bit about our young entrepreneurs. We will continue later on. So as your questions continue to develop, please don't be afraid to ask along the way. Next up, we're going to have Jordan Rouse tell us about himself and his business.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, my name's Jordan Rouse, and I'm started Straight to the Stars tutoring. I'm now an alumni of Macomb High School, and I will be starting at WIU in the fall and studying history education with a minor in mathematics to hopefully eventually teach at either the high school or the middle school level. something unique about myself is I'm the first person in my family in 4 generations to have red hair. So I think that's always interesting. And my favorite activity has to be marching band in the fall with the Macomb High Marching Band.
Great. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your business and you know, that maybe your target audience, how it came to be, and how people can get a hold of you if they are interested in your services?
Okay. Straight to the Stars Tutoring is a K through 12 service, and you can contact me if you would like help, either parents or students looking for help, at jordanrouse2020@gmail.com. And then from there we can discuss prices and times and setting up a scheduled time either over Zoom or another virtual platform, or at the end of the coronavirus, a face-to-face.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan. Moving right along, we're going to go over to Asia Pettigrew.
Hello, my name is Asia Pettigrew, and I am the CEO of Serenity Boutique. I am a recent graduate of Macomb High School, and my plans are to go to WIU, and I'm currently undecided at the moment because I may go into aviation to become a pilot. My business came to be because I was thinking, like, what is something that everyone needs? And everyone needs to be peaceful and have some time for themselves. So I use my website and my business as a way that people can find accessories that they can use to express themselves and that they can use to, it's kind of like shopping therapy. So, yes.
And how can people find some of your products or get a hold of you if they have something specific they're looking for?
I have email, and it's serenityboutiqueforyou@gmail.com. And I'm currently working on a website, and that will be up and posted very soon. I also have an Instagram account, which is Serenity Boutique for You.
Is it 4?
Yes, it's
Or,
for like 4.
Okay, just want to make sure. Great, thank you so much, Asia. Up next, Nate Clark.
Thanks, Rachel. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our virtual trade show. My name is Nate Clark. I am now a senior at Macomb High, and I love spending time doing business. And it's been almost 4 years since I've started this passion, and I plan to do this for the rest of my life. One unique fact about myself is that I've spent countless hours of my free time into different investment opportunities, such as the stock market, reselling, website sales, and of course my lawn care business. My CEO business is Bell & Brothers Home and Lawn Services. The name comes from my 2 sisters' last 5 letters, BELLE, which spells out Bell, and my brother, who will soon be my partner. I went into this industry because I have a pretty strong work ethic, and I've been working for a professional mowing company for 3 years now. Yeah, I'm very experienced at this work. And you can contact me on Facebook, Bell & Brothers Home and Lawn Services. And I have a link to my website where you can request a quote, or you can call me at 309-318-9207.
Awesome, well done, Nate, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Mackenzie Case.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and I went to Macomb High School. I graduated this year, and this upcoming year I'm going to go to Spoon River to study forensic accounting. But right now I have my business, Purely Body. which is a Bath and Body Works business. Right now, I'm just selling hand scrubs. My favorite activity is traveling and reading.
Mackenzie, can you tell us a little bit more about what exactly you might find at Purely Body and you know, maybe some of the specials that you've put out there and any information that, yeah.
Okay. So right now I'm just selling hand scrubs, which it's an exfoliating scrub. You would rub it onto your hands, wash it off, and then your hands are soft. You can find me on Instagram at purely.body or on Facebook at purelybody. I don't have any sales right now. I do have a 4th of July sale coming up, and I had a Mother's Day sale back in May.
Awesome. Well, something for everybody to look forward to. Thank you, Mackenzie. So this is the part of the show, if you will, that we're going to start going into kind of panel discussions, really digging into how everybody came up with their business, what their experience was in CEO, just a little bit more about their journey throughout this year. So students, as we discussed, I'll ask a question. Feel free to jump in if you have something you'd like to share, and if nobody answers, I will pick someone. So can you tell us about one of your more interesting visits that you had in the CEO program?
I think one of the more interesting visits that we did was when we went to Camp's Orchard, and it was so unique because there's not many orchards around, and we got to tour the entire facility, and we got to see just all the equipment that they use to like make apple cider, and just how they wash the apples and clean apples and everything. The whole process was just very intriguing. And then they captivated our hearts when they gave us donuts and ice cream. So they found a way into our hearts, and it was definitely a memorable visit.
Imagine you captivated by ice cream.
To add on to what Jenna was saying, to echo what Jenna was saying, I also very much enjoyed the orchard trip, but I found that when we went to visit the escape room, like in our preparation of visiting the escape room, we went to another escape room, and I found it really helpful and interesting to like see to see it in action and what it was like as the customer trying to figure out how to escape. And we also met with 2 people earlier in the day who, one had graduated from MIT and he was designing his own app, and I found that like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It was so fascinating. Yeah.
Great.
I think one of the interesting ones for me was when we went and visited Citizens Bank and got the full tour, floor to ceiling, and just to learn and see how much history is in that one building, I thought was fascinating.
Oh, Nate and Mackenzie, I should have said you do have to answer, so go ahead.
I know, I'm thinking because there were a lot of visits that we've done, and I'm trying to think through all of them to, you know.
I know my favorite visit was when we talked to Will from Bridgewater Associates, which is a big hedge fund. At the time, I was in the stock market, and I just thought it was cool to talk to someone who's also doing the same type of work.
Absolutely.
With that now.
We can come back if you need, Mackenzie.
Okay.
I don't want to see you struggle the entire time. Okay, we'll come back. You just let us know. What's one piece of advice you would have for next year's CEO students?
This one I can do. Christy told us a while ago, if you say that you can do something, you do it. And then if you don't do it, own up to it. Don't hide away from the problem. So that'd be something I would say to them.
Excellent. Other pieces of advice?
To future CEO students, I would say go for it. If you have like an inkling to go talk to a business professional, but you're nervous, go for it and do it anyways. If you like want to ask that question and you're nervous, just go for it. Because if you have a feeling that you should do something, then definitely like go for it, because whenever I wanted to do something, but wasn't totally confident in myself, but then decided to do it anyways, I ended up learning something, and I got to meet different people through it. And so definitely just go for it.
Awesome.
I would say something you got to do is you got to stay professional. You got to do it all the time as well. Like, you can't just have to do it, because like people will see that. And it's very important in business to stay professional.
The piece of advice that I would give is that we're all different and everyone has something that they can bring to the table. So it's really important to work as a group and try to make sure that everyone's skills are being used. And I think of when we were like trying to decide what we wanted our class business to be, and we went through like 100 sticky notes of just like trying to figure out what our class business would be. And we came up with 3 ideas, and then one idea we weren't even going to put on the board, and that's the idea we ended up doing. So I just think it's like really important that people are being listened to, and we just listen to people and realize that everyone has something that they can bring to the table, because
The piece of advice that I would give would be to never be afraid to turn a room full of strangers into a family, because that's exactly what we did over the course of our time together. When we walked in the first day of class, we'd met each other one day prior, which was not enough time to get to know each other. And then as the classes went and the days and months went by, we all started to get to know each other a little better, and we started to be able to trust each other, and that really helped us flourish across the board, from our escape room to setting up our own personal businesses. We all had our backs for each other, and that's something very important to know for the future.
Awesome. Well, hopefully our CEO students for next year get to watch this and get to take your advice with them. I think that was all very valuable. So thank you for sharing that. What was one big thing you will take away from CEO? And you can't say same answer. That's cheating.
It's okay to fail.
the only person getting in your way most of the time is you. Like, you're putting yourself in that mindset. And a lot of the times I would tell myself, like, I can't do it. And then I was like, the only reason I'm saying I can't do it is because I don't want to do it. I can do it. I literally can do it. So a lot of the times, the only person getting in your way and stopping you from achieving your goal is yourself.
It's okay to ask for help. I'm very independent, and I found that when I didn't ask for help, I often shortcutted myself. And so by asking for help from fellow CEO class members, and then from Christy or board members or community members, I found that it ended up benefiting not only myself, but our class as a whole.
There is no stupid question. Any bit of information can only help you do better.
You want to keep a good image on yourself.
Great. Well, I don't know about the other business professionals potentially watching this on Facebook Live, but I am taking notes because those are life lessons I think that we all need reminded of as we continue through our day-to-day and our careers. So, I appreciate you guys sharing because that's helpful for me as well. Digging into your guys' businesses a little bit more, if you guys don't mind shifting gears for just a hot second. I know some of you talked about where the concept came from, whether it was because it was something you were already doing or it was a passion that you had. What do you guys see? What problem are you solving with your business? What are you hoping to solve with your business?
For my business,
You can go.
all right. For my business in general, there's like a large demand for mowing services. So, that's a good way to start a mowing business. That's a good reason to start a mowing business. And a lot of the bigger companies are like in specific areas. So I'm going into areas where there aren't already professional services. So that's pretty much my competitive advantage.
One problem that I'm dealing with right now is taking online payments. I'm working on getting a PayPal set up, but it's kind of slow going.
So I'm not quite exactly providing a service, but like tutoring or like lawn mowing, but I always feel better when I know that I look good. Like I have like a boost of confidence, like a boost of happiness. And I'm not always the best at expressing how I feel with the words or like getting my mind across to people. So if I can make a statement and something that I'm wearing and people compliment me and they're like, wow, where'd you get that from? You look so good. It's like, it's a way that I can find peace in myself. Like it's a way that I know that I'm good for today. Like I'm good for today. So that's the same thing that I'm trying to allow other people, that feeling that like, oh, I look good, like that kind of thing. So yeah.
I'm trying to help people get back on track from where they've maybe fallen off a little bit from the whole coronavirus thing, because there's something new you can learn every day in your adult life, but in your school life, everything builds on it, on everything else. And if what we lose now will put us behind for the future. So I want to help people get back on track and get back where they need to be so they can propel themselves off into the future.
Well, for me, many people talk about how when they were a kid, they had homemade ice cream made by their mom or dad or grandparents, and they always ate it with their family, and they just have so many memories revolving around that, like homemade ice cream experience with their family. And so I guess what I'm trying to do with my homemade ice cream business is just kind of to relive some of those memories, but in a new way, and create new memories with their family now.
Awesome. What challenges did you experience in creating your business that you didn't anticipate? Oh, Asia's in. Look at her shaking her head.
I went to go get my assertive business name at the courthouse, and then I went and I drove to the newspaper because you're supposed to like turn it in to the newspaper so they can print it. The newspaper was closed because of the coronavirus. I called and I couldn't get it in, and it was really stressful. And then my computer kept crashing when I was trying to build my website. All of my shipments got pushed back because of the coronavirus, and they're just now starting to like come, and I couldn't take pictures. It was a mess, but things are leveling out now and we're good. Yeah, those are my challenges.
Everything's fine though?
Yeah, everything is fine.
kind of on the same note as Asia, I have had, I order my pint containers from Amazon, and there have been multiple times, even before the coronavirus, that they would get delayed or get lost in the mail. And that is definitely something that I did not anticipate. And so when I put off ordering those, it's typically when they get lost in in the UPS. And so just allowing enough time to get supplies in on time and hope that they don't get lost in the mail.
For me, I struggle keeping organized. I have around like 20, 25 yards that I do every week. And every month I have to send out invoices. And if they didn't get their yard mow on a certain date, I have to remember that. And sometimes I forget, but yeah, I'm trying to keep up with that.
I think I answered the first question, not how it was supposed to be answered, but like I said, with the shipping and online platforms for payment, that's what I'm having trouble with.
I don't want to skip you, Jordan, if you're thinking.
I'm actually so sorry. Could you repeat the question? My internet cut out and I lost you for a second.
Not a problem. Another issue sometimes we experience in our businesses. What challenges did you experience that you did not anticipate?
Definitely the coronavirus closures, because when I originally had started the tutoring program, I had wanted it to be a little bit more personal, face-to-face, because that's how I learned best, and a couple of other people that I've helped, that it was easier for them to learn that way. So when we had to switch to all online platforms, that was a little bit of a struggle getting 100% across what I wanted them to understand.
Absolutely. Could you guys tell us about one community member that helped you with your business and how they helped?
Yeah, so I was so lucky to get Kristen Conrad as my mentor. She's truly been the best. And so we've had the chance to have to go and get coffee together, and that was one of the highlights. And she helped me so much with my business and just helping me brainstorm different ideas, overcome obstacles I was having. She was a great person to lend her ear and listen to any problems I had when we were in the middle of our class business and there was a whole lot of stress going on. She gave me a lot of communications advice and just how to kind of go about handling problems. And I also got very lucky. Her husband, Craig, is a professor at WIU in marketing, and he helped me a lot with my business plan and helping me just work out details that really helped my business plan in the long run and helped my business too. And just they both gave me some great advice, and I'm so grateful that I could have them be my mentors and to work with them.
Again, to echo off what Jenna said, my mentor was also very helpful. She also owns a boutique, and she was telling me about like shipments and stuff like that, and she'd help me, and I'd be able to like FaceTime her, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and she's like, it's okay, like here, this is what I did. So it was really, really helpful. I also got really lucky with that match, and we had coffee a few times, and she's like, how's your business going? So she was really there to help guide me through the steps of what I needed to do because she had also been through it. So it was good.
Asia, did you say who it was?
Oh, Kristen Osborne. Yes.
Awesome. Others?
Yeah, my dad, Michael Clark, he's been a big help for me. He's allowed me to use his truck and some of his tools, and occasionally his credit card for a loan. But it's helped me grow my business exponentially, and I'm thankful for that.
Is that a low interest loan, Nate?
Oh, yeah.
That's excellent.
Two people who have helped me would be my mom and then Asia. They helped me like test my product basically just to make sure everything was good and giving me feedback about scents and how it felt. So and that was very helpful, and also with the naming process. So thank you.
Awesome.
I don't think I could name just one person or even a small handful of people that helped me set up and plan and do everything for my business. I think a lot of it was everybody we came into contact with had their own bits and pieces of advice and life lessons, and I think a lot of a lot of their information and advice helped me to become the person I am today, and then from there helped me turn my business into what it is. So I think just about everybody I've came into contact with has helped play a part in some way, shape, or form.
Can I name
Jordan.
another person?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But Christy has also been very helpful. Miss Steelman, Christy Steelman. It's like she knows what to say, when to say. She knows what not to say, not like when not to say it. She's just always there. She's been really helpful. She's
Anybody else want to jump in about Christy and make the blush while she's off camera?
Yes. She's like literally one of the best people ever that you will ever meet. She's so nice and she's so helpful, and she knows when to let you do things on your own. Like Asia just like summed it up so well. Like,
And she's very insightful, and so eager to listen and to give advice. And it's just, I can't imagine having anyone else as our facilitator.
That's excellent. Christy, that was not planned. It just happened.
I am blushing, so I won't go on camera, but thank you guys. It was truly my pleasure.
Now, I know you all expected this, but something that we did not put on the question sheet to give you time to think about, because I am who I am. Did your view of McDonough County change through your time as CEO? If so, how?
there are things here. I didn't know that there were things here before, but there's stuff here to do. It's amazing. So that's what I learned. So
I
you
will
can't.
definitely echo off that.
Yeah. I used to say like, all you can do in Macomb is leave, but it's like no, there's actually a lot you can do here. So
Yeah, I was talking with Christy, and she's like, yeah, we had an art event, and I was like, what? There's things going on here. And like WIU has like, I think a lot of the times people aren't easily like ready to trash something and don't want to like put in work to like find things that are interesting. And I was like, I'm not really feeling this, but there's so much stuff to do here, and I feel like I've been missing out this whole entire time. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, like even talking to you about like the park board, and you were talking about all the events you hosted, and I was like, I did not know any of this stuff was happening. Yeah. So yeah.
And even in like, there's so much that's in Macomb, but also in Bushnell and Colchester and all the other little towns in McDonough County. There's just so much that's going on, and there's so many people, entrepreneurs that have their own business that are forging their own path, and there's so many different things to do. There's just countless things, and when you really when we got thrown into our community. We just got to see all of that close up and behind the scenes, and it was incredible to see everything. And CEO definitely changed my view on McDonough County and rural towns as a whole.
This may seem a little harsh, but I thought Macomb was full of a lot of lazier people. But as I started meeting other people, I noticed that they have a pretty strong work ethic. But the thing is, there's not a lot of people here that bring money to the communities, so that's why it's not able to grow.
I'm going to go off of Nate, but with a little bit of a different spin. I've always had the age-old idea, and you probably do in high school and when you're younger, because there's not much to do here, that Macomb is dying, blowing away, and along with the rest of McDonough County, just kind of shriveling up and going to blow away in the wind. But after being a part of CEO and going and seeing the businesses that are here and the businesses that are coming in, they're flourishing. We as a county are flourishing in our own way. We are not going to be ever as big as Chicago and have as many things, but we're doing very well with what we have, and we always have, and we always will.
Awesome. Well, I just got a message from Christy that we have quite a few questions coming in. So why don't we switch over and get some of those questions answered for our viewers.
Okay, I'm going to try to go in some semblance of order here. I might revise a few if you've sort of already answered those questions. But early on, we had a question from Sharon Tuttle-White about how COVID impacted your ability to order products. And we did talk about that just a little bit. Asia certainly had some issues. Anyone else like to cover that?
Yeah, so my first day with my Mother's Day sale, I sold out that first day, and I still had orders coming in, so I needed to get more jars. But because of COVID, the site that I got all of my jars from wasn't going to be delivering until the week after, so just not being able to order things has
I'll say with COVID, a few problems I've had, there are limits on how much milk you could buy. And as someone who makes ice cream, I need a lot of milk. And so now that restrictions have lightened up, the milk limits are higher now. But towards the beginning, I would have to go to multiple different stores to get enough milk to make my ice cream. But it worked out, but it was a little bit more of a hassle. But we made it work.
I'm going to go on to the next one because it's sort of related. Erin Harrison, aside from the unique challenges brought by the pandemic, what have you found to be most challenging in building your businesses? Has it had an effect on your view of small business or business ownership? It's a two-part question from Erin Harrison. Challenges and your view of small business and business ownership.
My biggest challenge for my business in particular has been trying to figure out like what the right kind of pricing is and what and how much sales tax and all that goes into buying, shipping, and also how to get products to my customers efficiently. So that's been a challenge for me. And then changed my view on small businesses. It is a lot harder than it looks and a lot harder than it seems. And everyone who is doing it, just kudos, because it's a lot. It's organization. It's so much. It's a lot.
Others?
I mean, I think Asia summed it up pretty nicely, so.
Well, we have a statement and a question from Sarah Scheich. Great business ideas, first of all. And then, how many hours per week do you devote to your businesses?
I don't think I've ever actually timed it.
I guess I'm a little bit different than everyone else's business, but probably for every hour or two of tutoring, it's probably another hour to hour and a half of prepping myself, getting ready, rereading on the subject that I'm about to help them in.
I probably spend around 25 to 30 hours a week, whether it be actually mowing, which takes around like 15 hours, or like maintenance, or like sending out invoices.
I'm a procrastinator. I'm fully aware. So sometimes I'll be telling myself that I like, oh, I need to log this in. I need to log this in. And then I'll take one day where I just do everything that I said that I was going to do. And I like am in the mood, I'm focused. And then I won't do it for like another 4 days. But like I get enough done that I don't have to like break it into sections. Yeah, that's.
I would say I spend about 15 to 20 hours per week between grocery runs, making the ice cream, and then deliveries.
Jenna, I'm assuming that was another big challenge for you with COVID, that you had intended on having a presence at state and county fairs and other activities that would normally be taking place. And now you are a delivery person.
Yes. It's definitely different than what I intended, but we are making it work and still getting ice cream out.
There was a follow-up question from the same person, Sarah Scheich, about what business challenges are you especially proud of overcoming?
Being able to lower my overhead cost so I could lower my overall prices for my customers. If you go on Amazon, like I have 4-ounce scrubs, it is about what I sell. And on Amazon, you can go there and there are some where they're like $30 and mine are $6.50 because I've gotten my overhead costs so low. And yeah, so.
I don't think overhead cost is anything I ever thought about as a high school student. I'm just going to toss that out there.
Anyone else? I've got a few more. Go ahead.
Like branding my product, I finally have decided to have like little bubble pink mailers with my logo sticker like slapped on it. So it's going to be, I have a vision. So I finally came up with a vision, and that was a very big challenge, and I was very happy to overcome because I was like, yes, I finally did it. Yeah.
Say with COVID, I've had to amp up my delivery, and so I need to find a way to make my delivery worthwhile. And so to do that, I would encourage customers to buy $20 of ice cream, and then I would deliver it for free. And then that way customers are buying more ice cream, but also then also it's kind of making up for the time that I'm having to deliver. And then if you buy under $20 of ice cream, then it's $1 extra for delivery. And so really it's worked out well, and I was glad that I was able to just overcome that obstacle and move forward with my business.
Well, we had a question from one of our board members, Will Urish, who is asking, as new business owners and CEO participants, do you look at the world differently now than you did 10 months ago?
Definitely. I think I've upped my understanding of how much money can actually, like how much money is worth. And when we did that 1 to 100 challenge, I was struggling a lot. And I was like, I just don't get why everything is so expensive. And I don't understand. And then my mom's like, what you have to do is find something that is very, very cheap and make it not cheap anymore and make everyone want it. And I was like, oh. So I started selling bomber scrunchies, and I was like, this is working so well. And I ended up making like $116. So yeah, the value of the dollar bill.
Asia, will you just explain what the 1 to 100 was for those who might not know?
The 1 to 100 challenge was you take $1 and you turn it into $100. In a month, we decided that we were going to challenge ourselves and do it in a month. Yeah.
We learned the valuable lesson of buying low and selling high.
I think that was one of the most stressful months of my life.
Yes. Getting your ideas approved, because that was nightmares.
Anyone else? Different worldview?
I think we all saw this a little bit, just how much it takes to put together and run not only a small town business, but also your large corporations, your banks, your farms, just about anything business-wise across the board, just how many moving pieces go into it, and how stressful some of those people's lives can be when one thing goes off track for even just a little bit. It can throw the whole mechanism off. So I think we all got a little bit better appreciation for how much time and energy people put into their businesses.
For me, with changing worldviews, I always kind of thought that most business owners didn't really care too much about like customer satisfaction and stuff. Like they would go through and find the top rated comments and put those up at the top, but overall they didn't really care. But most business owners, what their number one rule is you don't take a shortcut to screw over your customer. So that was like a pleasant change in worldview. Everyone was nicer than I thought they were.
Kind of going off of what Jordan said, all the different moving pieces that go into a business that as the customer we might not see, especially when we were doing our escape room, there were so many different things that went on before and during that just all happened behind the scenes that the customers didn't see. And it took all 13 of us and really a lot more people. There were many other volunteers, and it stressed us out a lot. And just that experience made me have such a greater appreciation for just all the hard work that business owners and their employees have to put into their businesses.
Let's see, I have one from Jenny Schweigert. How can the community better communicate the selection of businesses we have? That's a big one, and it sort of speaks to some of the things you guys spoke about earlier about not knowing what was going on in your communities. How can we reach those folks? There's advertising everywhere, but it's not always getting through. how can the community better communicate the selection of businesses available?
I think a lot of the time you can't force people to see what they don't want to see. And I think a lot of the times, like in high school, like we didn't want to look into that. It's like a own little bubble kind of thing. So I think a lot of the time it helps if you can like get someone who's interested and then branch them into a group of people that aren't interested, and then get them to be interested. I remember I was chosen as like Junior Rotarian of the Month or something like that for the month of August. And we were I went and I was sitting, and like people from the community were talking about things in the community. And I was like, I want to speak on this, but I don't know if I can. So it's just finding people that have interest and then getting them to branch onto other people who may not show as much interest to show interest. And yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of like what Asia was saying, like, I think the population is probably one of the bigger problems with that. Like, we need more word of mouth, sort of to speak. Like, that's like the greatest advertising there is. I think that's I think that's why there's not a lot of know about the businesses in this area.
Anyone else? I have a two-part question from another board member, Kim Pierce, who is asking, do you see yourselves continuing your businesses past this summer?
Yeah, I would like to continue my business all throughout college. I said earlier I was going to be majoring in forensic accounting to become a forensic accountant, and there are a lot of certifications that come with that. None of them are cheap, and this is a good business to have to be making in money to help pay for my education. So I just really need to figure out shipping.
I definitely plan to continue my business after this summer. I actually had a bit of a jump start on my business, and I started it last summer. And just through CEO, I was able to fine-tune things and just amp up my business. And so, yeah, I definitely see myself doing it after this summer. And ideally, I'd love to keep doing it through college and just see where it takes me.
I actually want to open up a storefront in Macomb and expand into clothing as well as not just accessories. So yes, I'm definitely hoping to not only continue but evolve my business.
I will definitely be continuing mine. I'm already heavily invested, and I plan to go to Western, so that should help me get through college. So yeah.
I also plan to try to continue my business. I've always seen it as a way to prep for teaching in the future and helping people of different ages. So I would like to keep, since I want to become a teacher, I would like to keep my tutoring business going so I can get some of the valuable hands-on experience to help me in my future.
Fantastic. The second part of Kim's question has to do with advice for our program for the future. Do you have any suggestions for us moving forward? Was there anything about the CEO program that you wish had been done differently? She also says, be kind, haha.
This isn't helpful whatsoever, but no COVID would be very helpful next year.
Yes, yes.
Honestly, that's the only complaint, and it's not something anyone could have controlled.
I was absolutely going to jump in before you guys answered and said COVID doesn't count. I wish I had.
Maybe if we spent more time with our mentors, like I think we only have like 1 to 2 to 3, I don't know, 4 maybe, I don't know. But like checking in with them at the end of the week, but like maybe like spending more time with them. That makes sense. But I think the time that we spent was good, but I would have liked to spend like more time. And definitely COVID, yes.
I think this is actually helpful. I think maybe some more socials or some more time to interact with the community, because we had 2, maybe 3 community socials, and especially since CEO was small and kind of starting to get on its feet, a lot of people didn't know about us, and a lot of people didn't know we were having them. And I think they're a good way to not only get to know various business members and people of CEO, but also just to get to know some of the people in the town, because people in this county have a lot of interesting stories and a lot of life lessons that I think we can all learn from.
If I may jump in really quickly, I think where you all turned a corner for yourselves, for the community, for our program, was that escape room in February. You pulled off something that I will admit I had doubts that you could pull off the way you did. And you provided the community an amazing recreational opportunity. And you introduced yourselves and the program and this business to a huge population. We had hundreds of guests during that month. So the fact that we did miss a couple of social networking opportunities because of COVID, and we were not able to do your trade show at the end of the year as planned, it kept you from some of those social experiences. But if there's anything you'd like to add about that class business, it was quite the feature.
Yeah, I guess I'll say the class business was life-changing for me. And I just know that when we started, we definitely had obstacles and disagreements. But just I could tell from when we started to when we ended the escape room, we had all grown as individuals and as leaders and communicators, and we also we became friends after that, and we really got to know one another and really got to work with each other, and that experience just really has helped me to realize my leadership style and to help me grow in certain areas, and it also revealed to me changes that I need to make in my leadership and communication styles. But overall, the class business was an amazing experience.
Yeah, it was really good for real world experience too, especially for me. I was the CFO, so I was running like all the books and putting everything in, and that's kind of what I want to do with my life. So just getting to do a trial period with that to see if it was something that I really enjoyed in real life and not just in class, it helped me decide my career path basically. So
To echo off what Mackenzie said, it was a very good real life experience. There were many challenges, we will say, that I faced, and it was just really important, and I was able to see like how unexpected things are and how sometimes you think things are going to be okay, then you come in the next day and they're not okay at all, and there's water all over the floor. Yeah, it's fine though. It's fine. Yeah. And it was also, I saw a lot of sacrifice. I was there like a lot of the time, and I saw like people canceling their jobs to be here, and people like, oh yeah, I can go out and run and buy you food. Oh yeah, like things like that. Yeah.
I will add the testament to the students, and I don't know if we will call it their motivation level or their craziness level, but most of class businesses in the Midland CEO world are a one-time event, and they chose to do it for a month. So it was surprising, I would say, to most of the board members, and especially Christy, but we were all very, very impressed and proud of you guys and what you accomplished through that. Yeah, very impressive.
And that is the end of the questions that I have right now on our feed.
Great. Well, then I can kind of feel this coming to a close, but I'll open the floor to you guys. Is there any last remarks that you would want to share with those who are watching us live, just to put your final stamp on tonight's event?
It's important to give back to your community because they will be there when you need them to be.
It's always important. Oh, sorry.
You can go. You can go.
Okay. It's always important to find something that will change your life for the better. No matter what stage in your life you're in, there's always something that you can learn from or that can change you for the better. And I think we all grew so much between the beginning of the year and the end of the year. And a lot of that is thanks to CEO.
I'll say one last thing that I really took away from the program is that, especially through the class business, when I mentioned earlier that I struggle occasionally asking for help. And so when I'm able to delegate off a task or a duty or something, to fully let go of it. When I delegate, before I was in CEO, I would kind of hover over people, make sure they were doing it just right, just the way I wanted it to be. But I realized through CEO that when I do that, that makes people very uncomfortable. And that if I'm standing over them, watching them, they are not going to be able to reach their full potential because they're going to be nervous about the person watching them. And so so I guess what I'm getting at is when I delegate, let go, and the person will do it to their best of their ability, and I have to trust that. And then I guess that was my main takeaway, and thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight.
Something I want to say is you're never too young or too old to find a new dream or to start a new business. If there's something that you want to do, like Asia said earlier, the only person who's stopping you is you most of the time. And age can't stop you from doing something if you really want to do it. And if it's something you want to do, go for it.
Any other last remarks? Well, before we pass it over to Christy to close, I want to take an opportunity to just thank you guys for putting in this time, and just to tell you how extremely impressed and inspired I have been by you and your experience and your growth. And, you know, I felt very lucky during my time this year to see you guys juggle the multitude of life circumstances that came your way, and how you stood strong and positive and leaned on each other and asked for help when you needed the most. And I thank you for allowing me to be part of that journey. and I am looking forward to seeing how you guys continue to grow and impact your communities wherever you go.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel, and thanks for being here with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I think I've learned a few things tonight as well. Thank you first and foremost to Mackenzie Case, Nate Clark, Asia Pettigrew, Jordan Rouse, and Jenna Spangler for making time for us tonight and for starting your businesses in our community. Thanks to the CEO board for putting this project together, especially Sarah Grant, Will Urish, Holly Spangler, and Kelly Ham for planning and advertising, and of course to board chair Rachel Lenz for moderating. We're so looking forward to keeping in touch with these outstanding young people, as much as we are anticipating welcoming a brand new group of 9 young entrepreneurs in August. Please consider following our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram if you aren't already, as well as visiting our website at McDonoughCountyCEO.com. If you're interested in more information or have any other questions, we can be contacted through any of these sources. Thank you once again for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Good night.